The successful CEO of Korea, Min Young-gi, was spotted with his company's designer at a party, celebrating her win of the Best Designer award just a day before. But the real question is, who is the child in Young's arms? Is he his son and the designer his wife? We have captured numerous photos showing Yoongi with his child frequently, and sources claim the child has called Yoongi dad. Nina Kim even confirmed that he heard the designer is indeed Yoongi's wife. Why has Yoongi kept this hidden from the world? The big screen switched off, ending the news report. Yoongi sat quietly at the head of the meeting room table. Yoo, Myeon, Noor, and Taeyong were seated across from him. This is worse than I thought. We would like to cover things up, but Hyung, you need to hold a press conference to clear this up. There are a lot of things I need to handle before that conference. Yoongi glanced at you, making new groups. Suddenly, the door swung open, and Namjoon, Jungkook, Jin, and Hobby entered quickly, taking their seats. Did you see the news? Hobby and I left the shoot when we heard. We tried to lie and cover it, but it's only gotten worse. It's not just a lies. It was obvious last night when Yoongi, Johan, and Wayne came to the party together. Thank God they blurred Johan's face. The little guy should be kept out of this mess. Where is he, by the way? I left him with Jimin at home. Yoongi closed his eyes, thinking deeply while you angrily bit your nails. Don't worry, everything will be alright, okay? Meow's comforting words were directed at you, and you nodded slightly, feeling everyone's eyes on you. Suddenly, Yoongi's phone buzzed, and he picked it up. His expression shifted as he answered. Yoongi, what's going on? I saw the news. We need to talk. Come here and bring Meow with you. Yoongi glanced at Meow and gave a small nod. After hanging up, he turned to her. Let's go. We need to head home. Without further explanation, Yoongi and Meow quickly stood up and left the room, leaving the rest of you in silence. Yoongi and Meow arrived at their family home, an extravagant mansion with marble floors, high ceilings, and golden chandeliers that had illuminated the spacious living room. The long velvet couch in the center of the room added to the luxurious ambience. Mrs. Min sat gracefully on the couch, her eyes sharp, watching her children as they walked in. As Yoongi and Meow sat down, Mrs. Min's sharp gaze shifted between the two of them. Her voice was stern, carrying the weight of the authority as she began. Yoongi, this situation is spiraling out of control. You know how the media works. You should have been more careful. I advise you to handle these things better. And Meow, dating Jimin? Is this a job? You are my daughter. You should be focusing on your future, not getting involved with a man right now. I expected more from both of you. Yoongi leaned back in his chair, his cold, calm demeanor never wavering. His deep voice cut through the tension in the room. Mother, the news about me is fake for now, but I will take care of it. Soon it won't be a lie. I plan to marry her. And I will handle everything that comes with it. Mrs. Min's eyes widened slightly in surprise, but she quickly regained her composure. Her tone remained strict. Marry her. You can't just throw a marriage announcement out there to clean up a scandal. Marriage is a responsibility. Have you thought this through? Yoongi, what about Johan? He's not your child, and you know how this could affect our family's name. Yoongi's gaze remained steady, his voice unwavering but calm as he responded. I have thought it through, Mother. I love her, and this isn't about cleaning up a scandal. It's about taking responsibility for the people I care about. Johan may not be my son by blood, but I'm prepared to be his father. I will take care of him, and I will make sure he grows up knowing he is loved and protected. Mrs. Min folded her arms, her stern expression softening slightly as she processed her son's words. She had always been a tough woman, expecting perfection from her children, but Yoongi's firm resolve was something she couldn't ignore. You're serious about this? Yoongi nodded, his deep voice resolute. Completely. I'm going to marry her and I will be father to Johan. I won't let anyone else take the responsibility. Mrs. Min stared at him for a long moment, her eyes flickering between Yoongi and Meow. She sighed, clearly torn between her strict expectations and undeniable fact that her son had made up his mind. Fine. If this is truly what you want, I won't stand in your way. But you need to be prepared for what comes next, Yoongi. You're walking into a life full of responsibilities, for more than you have had before. Yoon gave a slight nod, his calm demeanor never fluttering. I understand, I will handle it. Mrs. Min's eyes softened a little more as she turned to Meow. As for Meow, I don't think what to think about this relationship with Yaman. But if Yoongi has given you his blessing, then I'll respect his decision. Just don't disappoint me. Mew nodded quietly, feeling both relieved and slightly nervous under her mother's gaze. Mrs. Min then turned back to Yoongi, her curiosity piqued. Alright then, you have my support for both of you. Just be ready for everything that comes with it. Yoongi gave a slight bow of his head in gratitude, his deep voice carrying the weight of his final words. Thank you, mother. I won't let you down. As they were sitting, the door creaked open, and Mr. Min walked in. He was a kind-looking man, much smaller in stature, as gentler in demeanor compared to his certain wife. He smiled warmly as he entered, immediately lightening the tense atmosphere. Ah, there you are, my children. What's going on here? The air feels a bit thick with his seriousness. He took a seat beside Mrs. Min, glancing between Yoongi and Meo, then back at his wife, not seeing the shift in everyone's expression. He raised an eyebrow. Did I miss something important? Before anyone could respond, Mrs. Min sighed and turned to him. Yes, you did. Yoongi has decided to marry his designer, and Meow, well, it seems our daughter has a boyfriend now. Mr. Min's voice immediately brightened with excitement. He turned to Yoongi first. You're getting married? That's wonderful. Yoongi, I'm proud of you for stepping up and taking responsibility. And who's this designer girl? I don't think I have met her. Yoongi leaned forward, speaking in his usual calm, deep tone. Her name is Ryan. She works as a designer at my company and she won the Best Designer Award recently. She's a strong, talented woman and I love her. Mr. Min smiled widely, his eyes lighting up. That's fantastic, son. I always knew you'd choose someone exceptional. So, what's all this about a child I'm hearing? Yoongi nodded. Johan, he's not my biological son, but I'm planning to take full responsibility for him. He's a part of Ryan's life, and now he's part of mine. I will raise him as my own. Mr. Min smiled, widened even more, and let out a small, joyful laugh. A father, huh? You're really growing up, Youngie. I couldn't be prouder. Taking on the responsibility of a child, especially one that isn't your by blood, is a big step, and I know you will handle it well. Then Mr. Min turned to Meow, his eyes soft with affection. And Meow, I hear you have got a boy now too. Who is this lucky man? Meow blushed slightly but smiled, feeling more relaxed in her father's warm presence. It's Jim and Dad. He's Ryan's brother and he's completing his studies now as he dropped a year. And I know him since college days. Mr. Min clapped his hands together in delight and leaned forward to embrace Meow in a tight hug. G-Man, you have always had good judgment, Meow, and if you trust him, I do too. I'm so happy for you. As they pulled apart from the hug, Mrs. Min chimed in, her tone a bit explanatory for Mr. Min's sake. The news is spreading like wildfire because people saw Yoongi with Ryan and Johan at a party last night. The media's claiming Johan is his son and that Ryan is his wife, which isn't true yet. Mr. Min nodded, taking it all in. Ah, I see. So that's why this is all such a big deal. Well, we will support you both no matter what. Family comes first, and I'm thrilled that both of you are finding happiness. He gave Yoongi a proud look, then turned back to Meow with a playful wink. And Jimin, huh? I will have to meet this young man properly soon. You have made your old dad very happy today. Meow, I can't wait to see where life takes the both of you. Yoongi nodded in agreement, his calm expression never leaving, but there was a sense of relief in his eyes as his father's warm approval filled the room. The tension had finally begun to dissolve, leaving behind a sense of unity and acceptance. As the room settled into the lighter mood, Yoongi's phone suddenly buzzed. Glancing down at the screen, he saw your name flash, and a slight frown crossed his face. He picked up the call, his deep voice calm and ever. Hello? Your voice came through filled with worry and panic. Yoongi, I don't want to disturb you, but Johan, he has a high fever. He wasn't feeling well last night, but it's gotten worse. Jimin took him to the hospital and I'm here too. But he's crying for you. He's keep calling out for dad. I don't know what to do. It's really hard to calm him down. Yoongi's face immediately stiffened, the concern in his eyes evident. Without another word, he stood up abruptly, catching everyone's attention. I will there be soon. He entered the car quickly, slipping his phone into his pocket as he grabbed his car keys. His movement swift and purposeful. Ready to go, Johan is in the hospital. Both his parent and Mia showed up from their seats, worry edge on their faces, but Yoongi was already halfway to the door. Is everything alright? Yoongi barely glanced back, his voice calm but laced with urgency. He has a fever. I will take care of it. Without waiting for a response, Yoongi rushed out, his heart pounding in his chest as he made his way to his car. As soon as he got inside, he slammed the door shut and started the engine, his mind racing with thought of Johan. He drove as fast as he could, weaving through traffic with laser focus, every second feeling like an eternity. Finally, after what felt like hours but was only minutes, Yoongi reached the hospital. He parked haphazardly, not caring about the rules, as he jumped out of the car and rushed inside. The moment he stepped through the doors, he headed straight for the pediatric wing, his long strides making quick work of the hospital's corridor. When he reached the room, his portrait was standing by the bed, looking tired and worried, with tears streaked to cheeks. You were trying your best to stay calm, but the sight of your little boy in pain had brought you to the edge of your emotions. You wiped at your eyes, trying to be strong, but the sight of him calling for Yoongi made your heart break even more. He just crying for you. I tried everything, but nothing seems to work. Jimin was facing back and forth near the window, concerned edge on his face, but all Yoongi could focus on was Johan, who was laying in the bed, tears streamed down in his little face, his tiny body racked with sobs. Dada. The second Johan saw Yoongi, his cries even grew louder, and he reached out with his small arms, desperate for the comfort of his dada. Yoongi's heart clenched at the sight. Without hesitation, Yoongi crossed the room and scooped Johan into his arms, holding him close. His deep voice, usually so cold and controlled, softened as he whispered soothing words to the child. I'm here, Johan. I'm here. It's okay. Johan clung in too tightly, burying his face in Yoongi's chest as he continued to cry. Slowly, Yoongi rocked him back and forth, murmuring gentle reassurance as Johan's sobs gradually subsided. You stood nearby, tears still in your eyes, watching awe at how quickly Johan had climbed down in Yoongi's arms. The tension in the room began to ease as the little boy's breathing went out, though the fury still lingered in your eyes. I'm sorry, Yoongi. I didn't want to disturb you, but he kept crying for you. I didn't know what else to do. Yoongi shook his head, still holding Johan close. Don't apologize. You did the right thing. He glanced at Jimin, who gave him a small nod of reassurance. The doctor said it's just a fever, but it's sternly. They are running some tests to be sure, but he should be okay once it breaks. Yoongi noted though the worry in his eye remained, and he looked down at Johan, who was now resting peacefully in his arms, his small hands gripping Yoongi's shirt tightly. A soft knock came at the door and the doctor entered the room, glancing at the monitor and then at Johan in Yoongi's arms. She approached with a gentle smile, though her expression remained concerned. His fever is still quite high. We are administering medication, but sometimes with young children the most effective treatment is skin-to-skin contact. It can help regulate his temperature more naturally. You blinked, glancing at Yoongi, who looked back at the doctor, his expression unreadable, but he nodded slightly in understanding. Skin to skin contact? Yes, holding him against your chest, skin to skin, can help transfer warmth and calm him, which might lower his fever faster. It's a proven method for calming children, especially in stressful situations like this. You looked at Johan's small flushed face, still pressed against Yoongi's chest, and nodded in agreement. If it helps him, let's do it. The doctor gave Yoongi a kind look. You will need to remove your shirt to hold him properly. I will step it out to give you some privacy. Just press him against your chest and make sure you are warm enough. With that, the doctor exit, and Jimin also excused himself going out, having a call from Myeong, leaving the three of you in alone in the room. Yoongi was quiet for a moment, his eyes focused on Yahan. He was starting to stir slightly, his face still red from the fever. You watched Yoongi uncertain if he was comfortable with the idea, but before you could say anything, he carefully shifted Yahan in his arms, unbuttoning his shirt with his free hand. His usual cool, composed demeanor never wavered, but there was a hint of vulnerability in the way he handled the situation. You moved to help him, gently tugging the fabric off his shoulder, leaving the chest bare. Yoongi's focus remained on Johan, who whimpered softly in his arms, his tiny hand clenching Yoongi's shirt before it was fully removed. Once Yoongi had his shirt off, he carefully positioned Johan against his bare chest, cradling him with both hands. The moment Johan's skin touched Yoongi's, a soft sigh escaped the boy's lips, and his small body seemed to relax almost immediately. His breathing slowed, and his little hands gently curled against Yoongi's skin. Yoongi sat down on the edge of the hospital bed, holding Johan close, his hand resting protectively on the child's back. You couldn't help but notice how naturally Yoongi took to the situation, despite the circumstances. For a few minutes there was nothing but silence in the room, the soft beeping of the machines the only sound as Yoongi continued to hold Johan, his body warm soothing the children's favorite state. He looks calmer now, you whisper, watching as Johan's tiny head rested against Yoongi's chest, his favorite cheeks pressed against his father's skin. Yoongi's expression softened just a fraction as he gently rocked him. He does. The doctor returned after a more few minutes. Checking Johan's temperature, she smiled softly, noticing the small drop in the fever. It's working, his fever is going down a little. Keep holding him like this. It is responding well. You breathed a sigh of relief, and Yoongi gave a small nod, his focus never leaving Johan. I will be back to check on him soon. You're doing a great job. With that, the doctor quietly left him, leaving the two of you all alone with your son. You sat beside Yoongi on the bed, your hand gently resting on your hand's back, feeling the warmth of both your bodies soothing the children between you. After 3 long hours, Johan was finally resting peacefully in your arms. His fever had broken, and the color was returning to his cheeks. You lay on the hospital bed, gently stroking his soft hair, feeling a deep sense of relief wash over you. Yoongi had stepped out to get some medicine, leaving the room quiet and calm. After a few moments later, the door creaked open, and Yoongi stepped back inside, holding a small bag of medicine, his eyes softening as he saw you cuddling with Johan, who was fast asleep against your chest. Yoongi quietly made his way over, placing the medicine on the bedside table. How's he doing? You smiled softly, glancing down at Johan. He's much better. His temperature is normal now. Yoongi noticed, standing beside the bed, his hand gently brushing Johan's forehead, as if needing to reassure himself that everything was truly fine. That's good. You did great. We did great. Yoongi's lip twitched upward at your words, and you could see the exhalation in his eyes finally starting to ease. He glanced at you, his voice a little softer. Before he could respond, there was a sudden knock on the door, followed by a loud, cheerful voice. We are coming in whether you like it or not. The door swung open and in spilled Jin, Hobby, Namjoon, Taeyong, Jungkook, Jimin, Myeong and Noor, all carrying bags and boxes of various things. The sight of all of them together made you blink in surprise. Look what we brought. This is for Johan. He's gonna love it. And we couldn't forget dinner. You two look like you haven't eaten all day. I made sure to pick the best food. You better appreciate it. Mew walked over with a small blanket, carefully wrapping it over Johan as he slept. Mew stood by the door, smiling softly at the scene. We figured you could use some company. It's been a rough day. You couldn't help but laugh quietly as the room quickly filled with energy and warmth. The once quiet hospital room was now bursting in with life. Yoongi gave a small, amused sigh, stepping back slightly as Jin and Jimin started arranging the food on the table. Are we hosting a party now? Of course, a party for Johan the kid's a fighter. Jungkook handed you the stuffed animal, a cute little bear, and you smile as you place it beside Johan, who stirred slightly in his sleep but didn't wake up. Thank you, all of you. This is a lot. Anything for Johan and for you too. You have both been through a lot today. Also, can we just acknowledge that if someone walk in right now, they probably think they have lost their mind. All of us in one hospital room, just for a kid. Yeah, the media would go crazy if they saw this. It's worth it, Johan's our little fighter. Yan Young exchanged a glass and you couldn't help but smile at how lucky Johan was have too many people who cares about him. The room was full of warmth, laughter and sport and it was exactly what you all needed after such a stressful day. Yoongi finally sat down on the edge of the bed, watching as his friends filled the room with light conversation and teasing remarks. He reached for your hand, giving it a gentle squeeze, his expression softening. We are not alone in this. You nodded, squeezing his hand back. No, we are not. We have the best family around us. As everyone continued to laugh and joke, the once sober atmosphere was replaced by one of joy and love. It was that moment you would hold on to for a long time. Knowing that no matter what, Johan and the both of you would always have this amazing support system. The night went on, filled with laughter, stories, and the sheer warmth of friendship. As you and Yoongi finally allowed yourselves to relax, knowing everything was going to be alright. It was well past 1 a.m., and the room had finally quieted down after hours of laughter and conversation. You glanced over at Yoongi, who gave you a tired smile, and the two of you surveyed the room, taking in the amusing sight. Hobie and Jin were sprawled out on a small couch, somehow managing to fit even though there was a barely enough room for one person. Jin's head was awkwardly leaning against Hobie's shoulder, while Hobie was his mouth slightly open, softly snoring. You and Yoongi exchanged a look and chuckled softly at the scene. How are they even comfortable like that? I have no idea. Noor was sitting in a nearby armchair, her head slowly nodding forward as she dozed off. Her glasses still pushed on her nose. Every few seconds her head would jerk up as she was fighting to stay awake, but it was clear she was losing the battle. Then there was Mio and Jimin, who had somehow ended up on either side of Johan's bed, their heads resting near his teeny body. Mio's hand was gently draped over Johan, while Jimin was curled up, hugging a small pillow. Both of them were fast asleep, completely unaware of the funny image they made. They are guiding him like royal wolves. Or just too tired to move. Namjoon, Jungkook and Taeyong had claimed the other couch, but it was clear there wasn't enough space for three grown men. Namjoon was laying back, his head resting on the armrest, his long legs stretched out. Taeyong had somehow whipped himself in the middle, while Jungkook, who had apparently decided he was a big child for the night, was sprawled across both of them, half laying on Taeyong and Namjoon as he on the couch. Jungkook looks like he is using them as body pillows. Yoongi glanced over and uttered a quiet chuckle, shaking his head. He will be in trouble if Namjoon wakes up and realizes he is being used as a mattress. You both tried to keep your laughter quiet, not wanting to wake up anyone. But the entire room looked like something out of comedy scene. It was hard to believe that there were some of the most famous people in the world, all crammed into a small hospital room, sleeping in the most ridiculous position. Should we wake them? Nah, let's leave them like this. It's so funny to run. You carefully placed your hand's file and the medicine on the table, your eyes catching something that made you pause. On the file under father's name, it Yoongi. A soft smile formed on your lips, knowing that Yoongi had told the hospital staff that he was Johan's father. The gesture, simple yet profound, filled your heart with warmth. Yoongi's voice gently broke your thoughts as he suggested, "Let's go to the rooftop for some fresh air." You nodded, still smiling, and followed him as he led the way out of the room. The night air on the rooftop was cool, a gentle breeze following around you. You both stood for a moment in silence, taking the peaceful view of the city below. Looking glanced at you, his expression soft and thoughtful, and started a small conversation about the day. But soon the topic shifted. About last night, the kiss. You felt your cheeks warm up at the memory of it. The kiss had come unexpectedly, along with the confession he made. You hadn't expected Yoongi, with his usual quiet and reserved nature, to open up so deeply. Now, standing under the night sky, you felt the emotion resurfacing. I mean, everything I said, I love you. I have loved you for a while now, and I want to be there for you, Han, always. His voice was steady, but you could feel the sincerity behind it. However, a part of you hesitated. The shadows of your past clung to you, the memories of your ex husband, his cruelty, and the pain that still haunted you. Yoongi, I'm scared. My past still hurts. My ex husband, he wasn't good at to me, and I don't want to go through that again. I'm scared for Johan too. Jung reached out, his fingers brushing against yours. His gaze was calm but filled with understanding. I know you have been hurt, but I'm not him. I will never be like him. I will love you and I will take care of Johan as if he were my own. I want to be with you, both of you, for the last rest of my life. You felt your heart race as his words sank in. His steady, quiet strength made you feel safe in a way you hadn't felt in a long time. And in that moment, you realized that Yoongi wasn't just offering love, he was offering a future, a family. I love you and I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me? He held out his hand, waiting for your answer. Your heart pounded in your chest as you looked at him, seeing the sincerity and love in his eyes. After a moment, you reached out and took his hand, your fingers intertwining with him. Yes, Yoongi, I love you. A smile broke across his face, and he gently pulled you into his arms, holding you close. The cool breeze danced around you as you both stood there. The city lights flickering below, and for the first time in a long time, you felt truly at peace.